This is a hollowing demo for a portrait head. First, you're going to locate the place to cut your head in half. Hopefully you avoid the ears and line up with the armature pole. It's very important. You can go in front of or behind the ears. And you press your fettling knife all the way into the hole and all the way into the ball in the armature. Then you're going to separate very carefully. You might want to use a scraper blade, which is hanging on the pegboard by the sink. Now that you have your pieces separated, place one on a foam pad and then mark with a curved blade cutting tool 1 inch around the outside edge and remove all the material on the inside. As you remove the interior clay, keep the wall thickness equal throughout, between 1/2 and 1 inch in thickness. Remember to get in the chin and the nose and to pay special attention to areas where you've had clumps of hair. So now I have scored and soaked these edges. They're soaking in with water. I've also hollowed both sculpture very carefully. What I do while I'm hollowing, I hold, see if I can video into this time. I hold my hand here and I use the tool here because it's really important to try and let your body have 2 points of contact on the sculpture so you can understand your thickness. I also do this as frequently as I can. I pinch. So I want these surfaces to be roughly the same thickness all the way around. So over here I feel a thick spot, so I'm going to halt and then I'm going to carve that out. Okay, this next part, our favorite, your insurance tool right here, a little needle tool. This is insurance against things blowing up. It's particularly important in areas where there's hair. So you want to get in here and stab, 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 stab to get some airflow into and all around your piece, especially where there's been a lot of layering of clay. Some of my areas here in the neck are quite dry, so I'm not going to have a very successful time trying to poke holes through that clay, but I'm still going to try. So I'm going to do this piece. Now this is the head piece. It's particularly important that you stab your needle tool into the eyeball, into this hair, into these ear cavities, and your nose and mouth. I'm just going to really work it in there because I know that I can adjust the exterior of this, like even if I poke through one of my eyes right now, I'm not that worried about it because I can fix it once this sculpture has been squeezed back together. I'm getting into this ear section, which you can't see because I'm not holding this right. Again, my neck is super dry, so I'm going to use 2 hands and then I'll be back. Okay, I've stabbed my little heart out. I've been careful to get in all of the cavities. I was also careful to not stab my hand. This is very important, and it has happened that someone gets a little excited and just jabs right into their hand. Please be careful of that. And I have re-wetted my edges, the slip and scoring, and I am now going to mush these 2 pieces of the head together. And my goal is going to have this slip come through the seam and squirt out. And here you can see I'm pressing so hard that I'm getting that slip to squeeze out of the cracks. That's what you want. Next, you'll take your thumb tool or your hands and you're going to bring together carefully the two sides of your piece. Again, this is a little difficult to do. See that squishing out there? Yeah, that's a good seam. You want this to come together and you want to not be able to push it apart. Some of you will be able to massage your hand up through this inner portion and then bring the two pieces together. I did not leave enough room to do that. So I'm going to work at marrying these two sides by working the clay body back and forth. And don't be afraid to mess it up. You kind of want to really press in with your tool to make those two sides come together. You can always fix the exterior portion of your clay. You know, we can over sculpt this, we can rehydrate this, but if this cracks and comes apart during the firing, it's much harder to fix. So I'm going to work on that now. Okay, so I am sealed back together. My head is relatively in the same position, which is great because the clay was so stiff. So I'm going to let this set up. I'm going to wet the surface a little so that it's ready for me to come back and work. So all these little holes from my poking, I need to come through now, and I'm going to resurface this and put more of a finished layer on it when it's in this state. Because what was happening is that you can see the crack there. That crack is because the clay started to shrink around the pole, because clay shrinks. It's very dry in this room. So I'm hoping that crack will not continue its journey through my neck, and that I will be able to salvage this piece. More later. Bye.